See, there's one thing I never do in life, and it's judge people. Well, most of the time. Everyone hates different things in heroes, and you can really never judge them on their opinions. Just because a hero isn't extremely meta or overpowered, people still have the right to dislike things. For example, I know there's a lot of people who really hate PK. Even though she's nowhere close to meta or a solid hero, it doesn't matter. People can hate whoever they want for their own opinions. Kyoshin in this case is my most hated hero in my opinion. Well, in reality, it's really a tie between Kyoshin, Varangian Guard, and Shinobi. But Kyoshin fundamentally is my most hated hero for its garbage playstyle he really just promotes. Now, before I continue to absolutely slander Kyoshin, if you play Kyoshin, do not take this video seriously because I'm about to hardcore badmouth this hero to oblivion. If you continue watching this and take it seriously after, then it's your fault and any comments you will make will be put in the pin of shame. A lot of this is going to be about Kyoshin's full block or Kaze cuts, whatever you really want to call it. Kyoshin was part of the hero set called the Harbingers, and honestly, every single Harbinger that released had been a major annoyance already, and Kyoshin really was no exception. Ubisoft really did try their hardest to make this hero seem really interesting in reality with its lore, you know, a secret fighting style, people possessed by demons like Tozen with his shadow clones in the campaign. See, the cool thing about Tozen in the campaign was that he had this move in his moveset where he spun in full block with his katana, and for years people were like, please give that to Orochi, but obviously they didn't give it to him and sold it separately on a whole new hero. Kyoshin was released on July 22nd of 2021, and oh boy did he make playing the game a nightmare at that time. I have a theory that the For Honor game testers actually do not test their game properly and call it a day once they play for 5 minutes, and I was right when Kyoshin came out. See, there was something very, very funny about Kaze Cuts Day 1, and it was the ability to 100-0 gank someone if two Kyoshins were on the same team. I really don't know how on earth you don't test the interactions of heroes with the same exact hero in ganks, because shit like this will happen and somehow you missed it. The release of Kyoshin and heroes past him are the reason people are so keen on having single pick in every game mode in For Honor, and you know what? I'm all for it. I think a load of balance problems stem from just multiple heroes being on the same team. 2 Oathbreakers, multiple feats of the same thing, and multiple different ganking scenarios with different moves. Kyoshin then and now are quite literally and fundamentally the same hero since release, and now he's just kind of fairly less annoying, but he's still extremely annoying if you're going against a good Kyoshin player. And I mean good Kyoshin player, I mean anyone who could just hold down one button for longer than 5 seconds. See, the stem that really lies with Kyoshin's frustration is Kaze Stance. The extremely fast start at 100 MS can be used as a fast recovery after every move in his kit, has bleed damage, heals him, has a crushing counter, stun locks people in revenge, delay, light attack, the fucking list goes on, bro. But the problem is that every single goddamn Kyoshin player, and I mean every Kyoshin player, including myself, will walk up to any fight and just stand in full block, and that's literally it. Rep 1, rep 80, you all do the same thing. It's just boring and makes gameplay turn to a slow crawl of, if I hit this card once, I'm going to just die. But it doesn't actually end there, because if you played against a good Kyoshin who utilizes Kaze Stance every second of his life, you realize you cannot guard break Kyoshins out of his Kaze Stance. And yes, it does have GB frames, but a good Kyoshin will be able to react to the guard break animation and icon and throw a light attack stance to interrupt you. Obviously, in duels, a lot of the Kaze stuff is just never the case. In fact, I never really see Kyoshins play in duels, even though they have a really good kit for it. But in Dominion, it's just Kaze Stance, Kaze Stance, Kaze Stance, and his feats excel this frustration by 10-fold. See, bleed damage is the best stats effect in the game. It has multiple synergies with heroes like Nabushi's Way of the Shark passive, Shaman just existing, and PK letting her go into unblockables. Pairing this with its second feat makes him even more frustrating. Hitting a Kyoshin's guard a single time will do about a full bar, maybe about a bar and a half of damage, and will also heal said Kyoshin player. You are literally trading health with him for a single mistake you made. Not only that, but when bleed is procced, revenge buildup is severely reduced because anyone that doesn't know, revenge is tied to physical damage. So in reality, Kaze Cuts does about 18 damage overall, but his bleed on top of it, you're hitting the Alt F4 button before you hit the ground. But it's not just his Kaze Cuts that synergize with his feats. No, like every hero with the full block, he has crushing counters from all sides that also proc his feats. I've talked to death about how much I'm starting to dislike Ubisoft making a copy-paste crushing counter on every hero, so I'll just say this. If somehow this big man has any crushing counters in his kit, I promise you, I will cry on stream. You know, I don't think I ever actually see anyone talking about Kyoshin's damage, but it is really, really high. His mid-chain bash run dodgeable is always really good, but I never see anyone talking about the damage of its heavy attack finisher. This does 30 damage, the same damage as a fully charged Hitakiri heavy. I've hit people with this heavy, and then sat there in my chair absolutely appalled by how much damage I just did to them. I covered it in the Fury video, but the amount of heroes after Black Prior that ended up just having the same undodgeable bash mix-up is just lazy and unoriginal. There are way other ways to make a hero viable without crutching on the same mechanic you've used for 5 different heroes already.
So much better.
Now, I've said in the past for heroes like Afira, but I do truly hate looking at the player base for a hero and say these people are normally toxic. But I've met a staggering, and I mean staggering amount of Kyoshin players that just think they're hot shit or just straight up better than you. And it's crazy to think that a man holding down a single button in an entire fight could ever actually talk shit. There's a saying that the hero plays the game for you, and, you know, there's heroes like Rangi and Guard and Hitakiri that usually have that stereotype, but playing Kyoshin is quite literally the definition of the hero is playing the game for you. The strongest mechanics in the game are truly tied between 2 things, and that's pinning bashes and neutral unblockables. Pinning bashes are really overpowered in things like the comp scene, and neutral unblockables are really good in the casual scene. Because for some odd reason, 99% of the people I run into in Dominion feel like they have the need to parry every single unblockable that comes their way. And that's easily exploited by heroes like Kyoshin. See, Kyoshin is a great indicator spammer as well, because you can go into full block, unblockable feint, and while you're at it, feint into full block stance, and then throw another unblockable as you're there. Kyoshin has a really cool property where I've only seen this on bots, but he can kind of attack or continue his chains with Kaze cuts before the full block is even out. I wish Ubisoft was more creative like this on other heroes. There's a lot of things people do not like about the For Honor community, and it's the implementation of anime stuff, and people just got rubbed the wrong way. We've seen it plenty of examples like Orochi's execution on Roka no Shi, Shaolin's Maximum Shaolin, and Kyoshin's, well, every execution. Point is, the reality is you either hate anime or you love it, and you know, the people that hate it don't play Kyoshin, the people who love anime play Kyoshin, which I really don't have to tell you about people who like anime, right? Look, I've enjoyed my fair share of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but like, goddamn, we've seen the Demon Slayer cosplays on Kyoshin, we've seen the tomboy Kyoshins constantly going around. These people have got something wrong with them, and that's just facts. Overall, I really think Kyoshin is a great hero fundamentally, but in reality, it only takes one bad thing to really poison something. That being Kaze Stance. Because why would you try to win the game when you could just, I don't know, sit in a stance and win the game? Thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.